Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 24. This one covering the 38th episode of the series, which is called The Sounds That Want to Make You Cry. This one covers the first two chapters of Book 13. I thought that this episode would pretty much finish up Book 12, but nope, it did finish up last week, so yeah, we're actually starting Book 13. That's kind of surprising. And I was right. It definitely was, well, as you can remember, yeah, definitely released today. And yeah, this is the mid-season finale, so people are kind of predicting that this first half of the season be 12, 13 episodes. I was really hoping 13 because the actual week this month, so I was right. Yes, so most of this episode takes place in Elena's tea party. The witch agreed. Where we continue from last week, where right after basically Stella showed up, yeah, all 7 witches are there, and Subaru basically not liking this. Like, of course, Stella keeps telling him that she loves him, despite the fact he doesn't have that feeling toward her at all, and the fact she wants him to love himself. Then he does something quite unusual. He commits suicide. And then and of course, Minerva goes over to basically sort of revive him, but she's briefly stopped by Typhoon. But Sloth basically, Sega, which is Sloth, she's very lazy. She, of course, basically is on Subaru and Typhoon's side, but he's revived. And Elena, of course, offers once again to basically, offer once again for a contract. He politely turns her down, though she does accept it, but he'll probably come back. Don't worry. And this whole portion, this whole dream sequence, though he does take Stella's hand, doesn't take Elena's hand, but does take Stella's hand. This whole thing takes up the first 15 minutes of this episode. This whole dream sequence. And then he wakes up, and Portia had dragged him outside. And of course he's talking to Ito. They talk for a bit, and, well, then of course he goes back inside, maybe because he made past second trial. Then of course he's blocked because he's lost his qualification. Yes, this did happen in the light novel too, so that's not a change. That is something that definitely did happen. Then he goes to visit Roswell. Yes, Roswell, who apparently remembers the previous loops, which that's something. Which makes him the first character aside from Subaru to actually recognize the fact he's in loops. And he shows off his famous book and also he does something really weird. His eyeshadow he's had since the start of the series disappears. And he stops doing the whole thing of, He does that where he has this thing where he talks. Whenever he ends a sentence, he basically holds on to it for a bit. And apparently, when he turns on the eyeshadow, turns to a normal person. I thought that was kind of weird. And he reveals, though, that he was one of the assassins of the mansion to basically strengthen Subaru's resolve toward Emilia. Though he does reveal to him that he lost his qualifications. Like, well, that doesn't change. That changes stuff, but not much. So, yeah, he reveals he's actually insane 400 years ago, which, yeah, they keep mentioning that. 400 years ago, the Great Calamity. Which is also the same time all the witches were murdered by Stella. Yep, all various ways. Burning, drowning, whatever. Yep. So, he tries bowing his head because apparently that is a Japanese thing. Basically, to beg forgiveness. Basically, get on your knees, basically put your head to the ground. Yeah, from what I can tell from a couple anime I watched, this is a Japanese thing. I'm not going to criticize the anime for doing this. It's a Japanese thing. Us, we don't particularly do that like that. If we want to forget, we do it a different way, but I'm not going to go into it. It's just something that, well, we don't exactly get on our knees and basically bow before somebody we're trying to beg for forgiveness. Yeah, that's, like I said, it's a Japanese thing. I'm not going to criticize them for it because that's their thing. So he politely leaves, though he's a bit scared. He just basically runs out, and then he's not kind of conscious. Of course, he basically comes with Io. Of course, he talked to Roswell. about discussing, like, is there a way to leave the sanctuary without going to the graveyard? It's like, I can't think of another way, but what is it to you? Good way to get to the mansion. Then, of course, well, he, of course, falls over, and apparently he fell asleep, and he wakes up Porsche, and, of course, it's Otto who wakes him up after basically him having a dream sequence about, well, hearing all the voices from the different realities where all he died. And then Otto basically tells him, when he gets up, and then basically he knows how to help him, take a deep breath, and he takes a deep breath, and then Otto socks him right in the face. And of course, Subaru's like, what'd you do that for? He said, I'm your friend. So, I want to help you out. Don't put on a tough face, everybody. So yeah, interesting way to end the episode, and yes, this did happen in light novel too, so don't worry about that. Oh yeah, and also Lee reveals that Garfield is an apostle of greed, which that should be, from what I can tell, basically Subaru association with Elysia, that actually continues on even after this particular book, so don't worry about that. Yeah. Excuse me. So, that is the end of the first half of the first season. Well, second season actually, yeah. End of the first half. Which, yeah, not all that surprising. That it took basically, now, I kind of knew it basically would end, like, after this period of time, because, well, because the pandemic, because originally the season was supposed to start in April. If the pandemic didn't happen, then I think by now we would have concluded season 2, not wrapping up halfway through the second season of the show. So like with Dr. Stone, this particular review series is going on hiatus. Well, actually, no. There is one other thing I need to review for it. Because I think I was going to I was like, wait, there's one they forgot. There was a thing they had for the first season of the show, where there's a little thing about these Cubby versions of the characters. Yeah, there's a thing for that for this season as well, which I want to watch that. Probably won't take me too long to get through it. I could probably do it probably just right after I could do this. Yep. But that might be up to tonight before I go a chance to go back to Naruto, because, well, I'm all done with Dr. Stone, so it's back to that particular series. Yep. So yeah, until I see you all in the next week, will probably be another one of this until then. Bye.